want to share with you how I think big government will end up destroying itself. Not destroying us, destroying itself. Ultimately, I believe a lot of the major programs of the Obama administration are going to be thrown out by the courts and devolved upon the states. The best example of that will be Obamacare. After the King v. Burwell decision takes place, I think it's very unlikely that there will be a new federal program that will embrace the entire country that we'll all have to follow. I think what will happen is that healthcare will devolve upon the states, and that the various revenue sources that the administration used to finance healthcare reform will be given to the states, and that they can do with that as they wish. Impose the taxes, not impose them and use the money for other stuff, whatever they want. That's going to create a major difference between states in the Union about healthcare reform. And add to that the court decision that Roberts gave in upholding Obamacare, which said that Medicaid changes, which are huge, raising the level of Medicaid from a third or a quarter of poverty in some states to a third above the poverty level throughout the country, that system need not be adopted by the states if they don't want to. And it's up to the states to decide whether to do that. And about half have and about half haven't. When you look at those two, you're taking an enormous budget item, the cost of health care in the United States for everybody but the elderly. And you're doing it on a state-by-state basis. So a state like Texas is not going to adopt the Medicare reform and will not adopt Obamacare. Instead, they'll do some system that costs less and makes sense of tax credits to help you purchase insurance and emergency coverage in the event that you're really chronically sick. But states like New York and California and Massachusetts are going to have far heavier healthcare burdens than states like Texas and Florida. And then you add to that the Medicaid program will be at very high eligibility levels in New York and California, but at lower levels in Florida, Louisiana, Texas, and throughout conservative parts of the country. That's going to create a vast difference in the tax levels in one state as opposed to the other, accentuating the differences we have now. And it's going to result in an even greater tilting of the map for people to move to lower tax states. As state and local taxes increase and the burden of living there rises, there will be more and more of a tendency of people to move to southern states and less low-tax states, western states. Already in the 2010 census, 13 congressional districts out of 435 moved from liberal high-tax areas to conservative low-tax areas. That's part of why the Republicans are able to capture the House. In 2020, it'll probably be even more than that, because these trends will have kicked in. And as that happens, what Margaret Thatcher said about socialism is perfectly true. They run out of other people's money, particularly as wealthy people flee Michigan and New York and California and relocate to Texas and Florida and Arizona. You're going to see that again and again. And the real cost of liberalism will be borne home to people because of the differential in the states. And ultimately, we will have a country with two different templates. And the low-tax template will provide much more economic growth, much more financial opportunity, and much lower taxes, and will cause migration to those states until the wage pool and the revenue pool in the high-tax states begins to dry up, and they begin to change their policies because it's that or die, unless they want to become another Detroit. So I believe that that is the logical end of the situation we're dealing with. And I think the impact of the Roberts Court decision and the impact of the views of Ted Cruz and others that you have to devolve Obamacare into a state-by-state program, the implications of those are that inevitably those programs are doomed to fail. Thanks for watching.